Anyway, I'm going to introduce our wonderful guest speaker today. She has many names, but we know her as Reverend Casey Taylor. That's how we're going. We're leaving the past behind us. We love that. She's assistant minister at United Life Center for Spiritual Living in Oklahoma City. A little far away from home, but loving it here too. She is also the co-founder and senior minister of Spirit Uncensored, an organization that teaches love as a religion. Spirit Uncensored hosts virtual services on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. CT, Central Time. Rev. Casey also serves on the Centers for Spiritual Living Global Themes team. You may have heard me mention that once or twice when I've spoken about our themes. We worked together on it. It was fun. We had a brilliant time. Wait till next year. You'll know what we did, for sure. Anyway, she also works full-time as a case manager at CC Youth Services, an LGBT plus affirming youth homelessness shelter. Prior to Oklahoma City, Reverend Casey served as a TV creative executive at Juvie Productions, Viola Davis and Julius Tennant's production company in Los Angeles. I know that Oklahoma City is very happy to have her. LA can go. We like her having that. Reverend Casey developed TV projects told from marginalized perspectives. Examples include First Ladies on Showtime, Wild Seed, that's been developed at Amazon, and House of Chow, and developed at HBO. We have a very, very accomplished young lady, a beautiful woman, right here with us. Please welcome up our beautiful guest speaker today, Reverend Casey Taylor.
Good morning. I like this funky mic. I'm gonna do it I like kind of how you did this sideways situation, and I'm going for that. You also inspired the bare feet, so thank you for all of that, kind of. When we drove up, my beautiful bride and I got married on October 2nd, and thank you. We got married at the United Life, and we felt like, with me serving as the assistant minister and she serves in childcare, and we are uniting our lives together. I love this song that you chose, this Alicia Keys song of If I Ain't Got You, because our relationship has been really reflective of that song. Our wedding ring cost $9 on Amazon, and this wedding was like the rental space, because it was Oklahoma City. To rent the church in Oklahoma City was like $150. And the person who catered our wedding was a local chef who brought tamales into the bar in the middle of the night. That was how I met her. When I first came to Oklahoma City, I went to this bar called Alibis. I know there was an Alibi on it has a very different vibe. We had to check out Alibi just because our place was Alibis, and Alibis is where we met. And all of our Alibis friends were at the service, and it was just this really beautiful experience. And what inspired us to spend our honeymoon in the Big Island is because I lived in Pahoa for a year, and in May of 2021, April 20th of 2021, I came to Hawaii for the first time. This would be my second time here. And in keeping with our theme of cashing out, I was thinking about how our entire journey is about a series of decisions kind of about money, right? And so, in the experience of playing the game of life, we are granted lots of opportunities to cash in our chips and walk away and do something different. Decide, okay, this game that I'm playing right now, I'm done with, and I'm going to go cash in my chips and move on to the next thing. And we're just constantly making these decisions about money throughout our lives, right? I think each one of us being on the Big Island has a story as to what drew us here, and I'm sure a big part of it was a spiritual journey, that something in our spirit said, this is where we are meant to be, this is where we're meant to go, this is where we are meant to express spirit and allow spirit to express itself as us. And for some of us, that decision might have been financially motivated. It might have been about letting go of the rat race of wherever we came from, or recognizing that there's just an opportunity to create an intentional community in this land, that we are being graced with this opportunity to just ask ourselves these questions of, what do I want to do with my money when? And so what brought me to the Big Island in April, I don't know why I keep saying May, in April of 2021, I do know why I said May, I'll get back to that. In April of 2021 is I was about to celebrate 10 years of marriage to the person that I was with before. And we had no plans, which is a big indication that this marriage was on its way out, but we didn't catch that in the moment. And so I called my aunt, and my aunt called me and said, hey, I'm having this big party, but it's the same date as your anniversary, so please don't feel obligated to come. And she said, how many years are you celebrating this year? And we're like, 10. And she was like, 10? Are you doing something? Like, your anniversary is next week? Are you planning to celebrate in any kind of way? And we're like, yeah, we should do something. And so this was like COVID, like I said, May of 2021. And so we'd planned to go to Paris right before like COVID had begun. Like April of 2020, we'd had a Paris trip that had been canceled. So we had a bunch of money kind of sitting in United Airlines ready to go and do something with. And on top of that, in anticipation of that trip to Paris, we had got signed up for a credit card, a Hilton credit card, that just came with like bonus points after such and such time. So because we've been using this credit card for the last year and had all these points sitting, something in me made me realize that we can go to Hawaii for free. And I don't know why I checked Hawaii. I can't even tell you with the inspiration as to what this state in particular drew me. But something made me say, let me look up and see how much the tickets are to Hawaii. And so I looked it up, worked out the hotel, and with hotel points and with miles that we had cashed out from Paris, it was going to be a free trip. So we said, okay, we're coming here. So then the trip was to Oahu, because as many of you know, like that's the easy way to get into the islands, and I didn't know anything from Big Island to Kauai. I actually know the people who started the Centers for Spiritual Living in Kauai came out of my center, the Global Truth Center in Los Angeles at the time, so I knew they were there. But other than that, I didn't know anything about what island was where and did what. And so then, because I booked a trip to Hawaii in like a week, people were like, oh, I went to the Big Island. I had this incredible time at the Big Island. Everybody kept telling me about the energy of the Big Island. So I was like, okay, I need to figure that out. Like, we're going to go and look up and see, like, how the Big Island's going to work out. And so it worked out where we spent 3 days in Waikiki and 4 days on the Big Island. And I spent those 4 days really in quiet. It wasn't intentional. I didn't decide to spend 4 days here in quiet, but my partner had other things going on. She was working on some stuff and doing some things, so her mind was on those things, and I just kind of enjoyed the land. And we had a Corvette, silver Corvette, not a Corvette, convertible. It was a silver Ford Mustang that I was just riding along the Big Island just for days, not doing anything in particular, but just driving around for 4 days. And I had this feeling that coming to Hawaii, I would get an awakening of some kind. I'd expected some sort of big spiritual awakening, and came home and didn't have it. Didn't know what was going on, but still was sitting in this question. And I keep saying May because I turned 40 that May. And my 40th birthday was there, and I spent the day just really the April 20th from when I got here to May 24th, spent that entire month just in reflection, in the question, what is mine to do? What is going on with me in my life right now? And in May, Spirit nudged me to go to a graduation in Oklahoma City. And I wasn't planning to go. It was a kid that wanted me to be there, and it was like, okay, like when a kid wants you to go to graduation, seems like something I should do. But then that money thing came up again. And how much does it cost to get to Oklahoma City from Los Angeles? And is it a good time for me to be doing this right now? And I went to sleep, and Spirit literally woke me up in the middle of the night and said, if I need money, I should pray about it. Should not go to Oklahoma City because I don't think I have the money for it. The money is in the bank account. It's not even like I didn't have it. It was there. And I had this question of like, okay, like if Spirit woke me out of my sleep to go to trust that what I need to do is pray on it, that's what I need to do. So I texted the kid's mom and I said, Spirit woke me up to pray on it, and that kid's mom, Spirit woke her up to go pee in the middle of the night. So she got that message, and we made a plan to pray that next day. And so prayed on it, and of course tickets were 50% off that they were the day before. So got on that plane, went to Oklahoma City, and when I got to Oklahoma City, I heard Spirit say, blow up your life and move here. Like, those were the exact words. And I was like, and y'all are nodding with me because I think some of you felt that about being in Hawaii. Is like, you got here and Spirit's like, hey, this is the place for you. And we have this question of like, okay, am I going to cash out of this life that I was living before and invest in this space? Am I going to trust what's happening here? And the spiritual energy of the island says, yes, of course. Like, it's loud. You can hear Spirit very clearly here than in most places that I've ever been on the mainland. And y'all are nodding because y'all know what I'm talking about. So wherever we are in our journey, that we are being invited to cash out in the perfect time, in the perfect way. And what's beautiful about this community, I love that there's been this highlight of the fact that this is a community, regardless of whether you're here for the first time or, you know, have this Oklahoma City connection. As Rev Bev said, I should like give you some context even to how I got here today, relating to money. It started with a diversity class. The Centers for Spiritual Living requires a diversity class for their ministers, which I appreciate and grateful for. And the program that I came in was right before they changed those education requirements. So I didn't have the diversity education requirement when I went through. But as a half black, half Jewish lesbian, when people think of diversity, I am who they called. So I was like, I should take a diversity class. If people are going to keep asking me to lead diversity workshops and stuff, like, I should take this class. And so I was at a retreat. It's called Next Gen, which is the Centers for Spiritual Living retreat that caters to people who are 19 to 35-ish. And there was a New Year's Eve retreat happening at the Seaside community in San Diego. And two people who I wholeheartedly respect and admire were signed up to take this diversity class. And I said, how much is this class? And they said $600. And I was like, is this diversity class like really worth $600? Am I really gonna learn something to make this worth it? And they deliberated amongst each other, and they're like, yes. This teacher, Tracy Brown, she is the person who you want to take a diversity class with. Tracy Brown is now like a mentor, was at our wedding, drove from Dallas to our wedding, like would have never met Tracy if I hadn't made that $600 decision of taking this class. And it is also the class where I met Rev Bev for the first time. So when we were on this Global Themes team together, like this is all on Zoom, she was a face that I recognized. Like, oh, someone in this space that came together. And when we made this decision to celebrate our honeymoon here, I looked up who has a center that's open, what CSL is open and having live services on the Big Island. And the center was open. So I emailed Rev Bev and I said, hey, just checking, want to make sure that you're open. And she said, yeah, you want to speak while you're here? And you know, like, so I clearly married the right person for me, because she said, I would love to see you speak on our honeymoon. You are my favorite minister, and so having an opportunity to share in this spiritual experience with you, being on the Big Island and receiving an inspirational message about cashing out, I am all for that. We didn't know that would be the title then, just rolled like that. But she said, yes, of course, I would love that. And all of these yeses, all of these financial decisions of starting with the $600 to taking the class to, yes, the Global Themes team is worth my time, because like Rev Bev and I kind of like kikied about this at lunch yesterday, that like we have thoughts, we have opinions about what the themes were this year. And so it was really nice for both of us to have a voice and feel strong and representative, be able to represent these themes in a way that we know we have this spiritual connection to, and also know that our voices are included. So in this community, each one of you is inspiring each other. You are serving as examples to the rest of the world what it is like to follow your heart, to listen to Spirit tell you this is the place for you, to cash in the life that you are living before and trust Spirit onto a new journey, to follow your heart, to live the life of your dreams. And as the vision is of awakening consciousness, to live from a place, to live a spiritual life, each one of you is living your life by example. The choice that you made to participate in this spiritual community and the choices that you continue to make to allow for this community to grow and thrive is creating an opportunity for this vision to be spread throughout the world. This is being streamed right now. This woman from Massachusetts is sitting right here. This message is getting out into the world wherever we are. And each one of us is living by example within our families, within our own communities, the places where we came from before we got here, and the people who come in contact with us here, of knowing that as we listen to Spirit, trust it and allow it to guide us to making decisions on what to do with our money, where, what to spend on what, when to invest in ourselves, when to pray and trust that Spirit is coming through and giving us whatever it is that we need. Each one of us is living by example right now. And so what I would love to do is I would love for us to pray about that. And I didn't ask for permission for this in advance, so if you want to say no, feel free to say no. Susanna, I would love if you could do that thing, that do-do-do-do, that magic that we're talking about. Because, like, I'm all for magic and prayer, right? Like, this is what we came here to do. This is what we're about, is shifting, and it's important for us to connect with the presence within us to be able to inspire others to do the same. So I invite us all to get comfortable in this space, to feel the beautiful Hawaiian breeze around us, to listen to the beautiful music inside and outside, the symphony of the nature of life that we are living in. I am so grateful that each one of us has heard the call to listen to our own idea of what Spirit is, knowing that Spirit is not defined by what anyone else says it is, but it expresses itself within us individually in our own way. I am so grateful that each one of us has heard that call and has shown up to participate in this experience of community, that are inspired to give in the ways that we are called to give, inspired to receive in the ways that we are called to receive, and trust and know that that internal guidance is always available for us at all times, in all ways, in all moments. We cannot make a mistake. Spirit will always tell us the right path, the right move, when to cash in, when to make an investment, when to live from faith, when to put our money where our mouth is. So I'm so grateful for each person who has lived and continues to live from this understanding. I'm grateful for the investments made in ourselves and our communities. I'm grateful for the prayers that are planted in this holy soil that allow for experiences of intentional communities and spirituality and growth to blossom. I'm so grateful for the shift that takes place in our hearts, in our bodies, in this community, in our land, and in the universe at large. And with gratitude, I invite us all to affirm this word, this truth, by saying, "And so it is." Namaste.
Thank you so much.